SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Thinking about a new vehicle? Trust the team that's been taking care of customers for 70 years. The Cannon family has helped thousands drive home happy. Come take a test drive today and see why. And remember, when the smoke clears, nobody beats a Cannon deal. Nobody.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Steve Azar here reminding you, as I love to do, visit Mississippi.org. Celebrates us in such a beautiful fashion. Just eat your way around Mississippi. Michelin's finally shown up. I know I'm sounding like a little bit of a broken record, but like I say, it's a platinum record, double platinum. Our chefs around Mississippi are something else. Check it out. And then while you're at it, listen to the music that made us so special, the birthplace of it all. Visit Mississippi.org. All right, good morning, good afternoon, whichever time this show is airing, everyone, and welcome. Welcome, welcome. Today, we are going to be diving into the fascinating world of catfish. Yes, you heard it right. Our guest has spent more than 3 decades in the Mississippi Delta, turning a childhood summer job on a catfish farm into a lifelong career in aquaculture research. From earning a bachelor degree at Delta State, I was with him in 1989, to working with the USDA and Mississippi State University, he dedicated his life to understanding everything from catfish genetics and nutrition to disease prevention and cutting-edge aquaculture systems. Over the past 36 years here in Stoneville, Mississippi, a lot of incredible inventions there, by the way. He collaborated with the top scientists to advance the catfish industry, focusing on innovative solutions for spawning, nutrition, water quality, and more. His work has literally shaped the way catfish are raised in the Delta and beyond, and what it tastes like when it hits your palate. He also is one of my greatest friends since childhood. I'm talking age 5. We go deep. We're such good friends that we know things about each other that we will be taken to our grave. And the reason for my only Christmas song, Catfish Christmas, he is the inspiration behind that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. If you're going to be a part of anything I do, like our foundation, Delta Soul Charity Golf Event, my resident show for Viking Cruise Line down here, and we're going to be feeding 400 people at a time, he is the guy that I call, and he is my man, best catfish, best hush puppies on planet Earth. We call him Tweety. No, you don't get to know why either. Please join me in welcoming my dear pal, Danny Oberly.
Thank you, Steve.
How are we doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Did you ever think that I'd be giving you an introduction? Ever?
No, never.
So funny.
How many times have I turned you down?
You've turned me down a lot, but just the idea of giving you an introduction. I mean, we grew up together, and I would be thinking we'd be doing other things together, but not me bringing you on. But, you've got such an incredible, pretty dang prophetic resume at this point. Let's back up for a second, because I knew you as an athlete, the center. I knew you, and how smart you were in school, when you wanted to be. And I also knew that you had this love affair for anything to do like research. Stoneville, you used to work in the cornfields back in the day, in the hot summer. You were always in. When did catfish sort of become your thing?
Well, as you mentioned, I started back in high school working on a catfish farm with my brother-in-law. And he kind of pushed me into the pond, so to speak.
Yeah.
And, started my interest in catfish. And as a matter of fact, it was while I was working with him that I learned to cook catfish.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of how it all started.
Is this
Uh,
Terry?
this is Terry. Yes.
Yeah. Shout out Terry Tuck. What a man.
Yeah.
What a man. Taught us how to, well, he told us how to do the pig and the ground. Greatest ever.
Oh,
Anyway, we'll
that's
get to that. That's another whole show. We could talk about just the recipe. But so you start doing this, and like during, this is high school years or this is college years?
This is both high school and college, some of college. I would go to work, in the mornings on the catfish farm and um, do typical things like feeding and checking spawning cans for eggs and then later in the day working the hatchery a little bit.
Sort of getting
And
your feet
then
work, so to speak, right? Pardon the pun,
that's
but really as you started to understand sort of how the catfish sort of grew in the water, in fresh water, right?
that's right. That's where I learned the husbandry of catfish, and how to take care of them from spawn or eggs
Right.
to adults.
Was it
Um,
an automatic fit once you graduated college, just to you to continue on with them because you had all the summer jobs? I mean, was that job waiting?
of course, I got a degree in biology from
Hmm.
Delta State,
Hmm.
and so it kind of fit with my interest from the past. So when I graduated, I started at Stoneville in 1990, a year after I graduated from Delta State. I was with the Catfish Genetics Research Unit. And there is where I further developed knowledge of catfish husbandry and spawning and such as that. So we did research on brood fish and selective breeding. So anyway, from there it went on. I worked there for about 6 years, and then I took a job with the Mississippi State University, also in Stoneville.
You've hopped around from stateside to bedside, right?
I have, yes,
Over your career, if I
that's right,
recall.
that's
and
right.
and the difference between the two gigs?
Basically, it's just funding, Out at Stoneville, it's all one big cooperative. State and federal, they all cooperate to do research on different aspects of catfish.
Hmm.
On the federal side, we look at water quality, of course, genetics and breeding, these recirculating aquaculture systems, and on the state side, when I went to work there, I was focused on catfish nutrition,
We've had
but
a lot of talks.
also.
Yeah, we've had a lot of talks, you and me, about catfish nutrition. I've learned so much. I think, just the fact that it's just so interesting to me. I mean, the fact that, you think about the cash crop that catfish has become, and obviously it's gone through, you got overseas, and all of a sudden America starting to buy overseas catfish. Regulations are a little different. You and I have said, giving up home turf, right? In a way down the line, we've given up our home turf for a less quality product, because you guys y'all take it so serious, and our farmers and our producers take it so serious down here. It's like crazy,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The catfish farmers they raise their crop in earthen ponds that are filled with shallow well water. Okay, so it's ultra pure, it's ultra clean. When you buy catfish from overseas, you don't know what you're getting exactly.
Right.
And once the catfish are raised on the farms, they're sent to the processing plant, and these processing plants are USDA inspected, and they have to meet all kinds of safety regulations and food safety regulations.
Let's take a quick break for a second, because I'm going to start digging into some questions that it's your everyday life, but for a lot of us, we just have no idea. I'm with my dear friend Danny Oberly, catfish biologist. That's the best way. That's what he is, a nutritionalist, He's responsible for a lot of the catfish that we eat. I mean, it starts there in Stoneville, Mississippi. Visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip down to Stoneville and learn about the crazy stuff that has been created and invented there. It'll blow your mind. We'll be right back.
In my mind, in my mind.
This is House Call for Health. The state of Colorado receiving approval from the Food and Drug Administration to start importing lower-cost drugs from Canada. Governor Jared Polis offering optimism that importing prescription drugs from Canada will help people save money. And he says the FDA approval is the first step. But now the work begins to get the supply chain going, to work with a new preferred distributor, and to test the drugs. The list of medications includes blood thinners and treatments for diabetes, as well as Ozempic. The governor predicts savings of 30 to 70%, saving Coloradans up to $46 million over 3 years. Though there is some skepticism as well. One local pharmacist saying he knows there's a cost problem for people, but that this program still has roadblocks, pointing to long delays in Florida, the first state to receive FDA approval for imports from Canada. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Your next customer is searching online right now. Will they find you or your competitor? If your website is outdated, slow, or hard to use on a phone, you could be losing business every day. SuperTalk Mississippi Media builds sharp, mobile-friendly websites that look great and work even better, and they're more affordable than you might think. We can drive customers to your new website with powerful radio commercials and targeted digital ads on Facebook, Google, TikTok, Hulu, and more. Call SuperTalk Mississippi Media at 601-991-2305 or visit stmmdigital.com.
We've sent that rib.
Loving a Mississippi Minute with one of my best friends on planet Earth, Danny Tweety Oberly, catfish scientist, biologist, nutritionalist. He knows everything there is to know. Visit Mississippi.org, everything you want to know, to search out wonderful places to visit in Mississippi. There's so much history and culture at every turn. Check it out. Take a ride on the Freedom Trail markers. It's just fantastic. So Danny Tweety, I'm Tweety, no, I'm not telling you guys anything about Tweety. You can just, that may be, like, we could get maybe a price tag for that, but we'll talk about it later. So I can be bribed. Danny, let's get into sort of, what's the biggest challenges in catfish genetics and selective breeding?
Oh, goodness. You asked me a question I cannot answer. First of all, the whole purpose for our unit is to select for a faster growing, disease-resistant catfish that is, it reproduces well, and just all these different aspects. So that's what we do. We take families of catfish and we put them through all types of testing, like a growth trial, for example, or
back up for a second. Remember the time that you guys were trying with sweet corn, like feeding them sweet corn, and you said the flesh came out yellow?
Oh,
is that something that I recall?
It wasn't exactly that. There was a problem some years ago when I was with Mississippi State and in the catfish nutrition research, that there was a problem that the catfish were picking up a yellow pigment from the corn that they were being fed.
Yeah, and that wasn't pretty, right?
It was specifically a corn product that was going into the feed. So they came to us and we did the research to see how much of this particular corn product we could use in the feed and not impart that yellow color.
The pigment, the actual pigment of the
yellow
flesh.
pigment into the fillets. Right.
Wow. But did you fry it up? Did it taste good?
Oh, it tasted great.
Yeah, but it's not attractive.
But from a consumer standpoint, it wasn't very appealing because you see the all these nice, pretty white catfish fillets in the cooler in the meat market, and you see some with a yellow tinge to them, and it's you know. I mean, I've fished out of the Lake Ferguson and the Mississippi River, and
Right.
usually when we caught a fish that had that yellow pigment to them, they didn't taste very well.
Interesting.
And that's what a lot of people, when they go into a grocery store, they want to see a nice, pretty, bright white fillet of fish. It doesn't matter what species. It can be,
Yeah.
But mainly catfish.
How do you has the industry changed a lot since you started? I know you evolve and you learn a lot, but is there any significant change, or has it just been sort of a gradual thing, or anything you've noticed since 1990?
Things, of course, they develop slowly,
And you can't speed that process up.
Also, that's right.
Okay.
Also, if it isn't broke, we don't fix it. But we're not afraid to try new things.
Right.
Okay. So, or select for a different strain of catfish, maybe.
Yeah.
And,
How many? Is there a bunch of different strains?
There are several, and but there's one. I don't know if I can get into much detail about this, but there's one that there's a strain of catfish that a lot of the farmers are using now that is very productive.
Reproductive or product? What do you mean by productive?
Both. It reproduces well. Also, it's an aggressive feeder, so it eats very aggressively. So in turn, it eats more feed, and that you can produce a larger fish quicker, or a marketable fish quicker, if you get that feed into them
And not lose the quality.
body mass on them, and not lose quality. You're not losing quality.
Is there a certain time of year where the catfish is going to taste better just because of?
There's a harder time keeping all flavors out of catfish during the latter part of the summer months. Just because there's more algae growth in these ponds, and that's where they pick up a lot of the off flavors in catfish is from their environment.
Yeah, we like it. Just it's interesting how the catfish ended up really becoming incredibly marketable fish when it hangs out at the bottom. And my argument is, so does lobster, and lobster's incredible. It hangs out at the bottom. They're bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Why do they hang out at the bottom? What's the reason?
Just by instinct. That's where they're, like, if they're swimming out in the river or whatever, that's where their food source is. It's like I don't know, dead things.
Whatever, they're eating salad down there. Eating a lot of salad down at the bottom, probably a lot of algae and all that stuff, whatever's probably.
What the catfish farmer has done, back in the 50s and 1950s and 60s, I guess, they've taken that fish and trained it to feed at the surface. So they're getting it up off the bottom of the pond and feeding it a diet that's grain based, corn, soybean, and so the ingredients in that feed, that's also been developed all these years. So the technique with which they're fed, plus the feed itself, has, I think we really have a very unique fish that we can,
you got a good grip on it right now
for the consumers. Right? Yes,
right.
That's right.
It's just really interesting. So you have told me why crappie. I think crappie is one of the best fried tasting fish on earth. Obviously, you catch it in the lake. It's plentiful down here. Why isn't crappie the catfish? Why didn't that work in freshwater?
Probably it probably has to do with growth rate. I can't say for sure, but
your hypothesis.
Plus a catfish is a very hardy fish. You can handle it and move it, and you can feed it heavy and it'll grow fast. And crappie, I think they're more of a tender, fish that's more susceptible to different environmental
I
stress.
gotcha. And so when you put something in fresh water, what happens to it versus if it's used to being in a lake or even in the sea?
Well, first of all, you can't take a saltwater fish and put it in fresh water. It just doesn't work. But if you take a fish, say, out of the river and bring it in and put it into a pond, not much. There's not much difference in the water quality and whatnot.
Temperature important?
Temperature is very important.
So you did this to me once. You brought me a bunch of catfish over, and we put them in my pond back when I had water. And that's another subject. Don't get me upset right now. All right. Why did you even bring it up? Or did I bring it up? I think I brought it up. No, but Tweety,
I'm gonna answer that.
yeah. So you had to get the temperature. You checked the temperature of the lake and my pond and the temperature of what you had, and you had to get them sort of at the same place. Why is that?
Because if you take them from a warmer water and put them in a cooler water, or vice versa, they'll go into thermal shock.
Come on.
And eventually croak.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break on the idea of that. Visit Mississippi.org. Ain't nothing going down except the beautiful sun and the moon at night, and just come on, spend a little time. We're in the Mississippi Delta, my man Danny and I. One of the reasons I moved back home. Our friendship, it goes that deep. His wife, Sharice, by the way, won a national championship in hoops at Delta State. The girl had hops. Sharice, you don't have hops right now. I don't want to hear about it. She's very, very competitive. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar with Danny Oberly.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
From the Seabrook.com.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
We're in cold water and we're in too deep.
Visit Mississippi.org. It's a song. It sounds like a song. It should, because we are the birthplace of America's music. Think about that, folks. You know, I've written songs, a lot of folks in Texas, and they just boast so much about the great state of Texas, and I'm all in. They're so talented, so good. But the most original sounds that actually influenced a lot of original sounds came from here, right here. And then you just wrap it up in a bow with Jim Henson and the Muppets, and then what do you got? I mean, it's just global stuff that changed the world forever. Go to visit Mississippi.org. We're talking catfish down here. Obviously, it affects a lot of us. It lives on a lot of our plates. Who doesn't love a great fish fry? Danny Oberly over there in Stoneville, Mississippi, one of my best friends in the world. We have gone through it in our lives and still having the time of our life. Wouldn't you say that? You'd say we're still having the time of our life?
Absolutely.
Well, like the song, I'm having the time of my life. Okay, so Danny, let's talk about, tell me something that sort of what'd you do today? You had some, or this week, or in the last couple weeks that had to be done that a lot of us folks, laymen, have no idea that goes on in the world of a little catfish?
Okay. Well, today is a perfect example.
Thank you.
When we check our spawning cans, it's typically on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's gonna vary if you're a catfish producer or a researcher or whatever. So this morning we get to work, and the guys go out to the ponds that have spawning cans in them, and males and females paired up in ponds, and they check those spawning cans for spawns, which are just masses of eggs. Um, and they scrape them out of the cans, and they put them in buckets, and they bring them into the hatchery. Now, where we differ out at Stoneville with our research, we have to keep every single one of those spawns separate from all the others. Whereas a catfish producer will bring in a bunch of spawns, and they'll all just be commingled and hatched together, and
And why don't y'all do that?
Okay,
Are you still separating the science?
Exactly, because the way we're set up out at Stoneville, we have our brood fish are all pit tagged, so they're identified, and we have a wand that we can wave over them, and it reads the pit tag number. So when we bring those individual spawns of fish in, we have to keep them separate from each other throughout their life cycle. Okay, so we bring them in as spawns. They go into individual hatching tanks. Okay. Then as those fish hatch, they get moved to larger tanks, and numbers reduced so that they progressively, grow in size and get larger. Then in the spring, we will take those fish. They're 6 or 8 inches in length now. We call them fingerlings.
Okay.
And we will we'll be able to take a barbel clip or something and check the DNA of those fish, and we can trace it back to the 2 parents that created that family.
Get out of here.
Out of a pond full of.
Oh, come on. So it's DNA?
Yeah, it's all
Works
there.
with fish too.
Yeah.
And can y'all do DNA testing there yourself?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My goodness. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, so first of all, it sounds like y'all are running a brothel, catfish brothel. I just want you to know that. It sounds like a lot is going on down in that pond. Second of all, when you say scrape the eggs, I mean, are there eggs? I mean, don't you have to how gentle? I mean, what kind of tool does that doesn't damage them or break them?
Well, we actually just use old credit cards or, room key cards or anything like that. When a catfish lays eggs, okay, the female will go into the spawning can. Let me back up. The male goes in first and cleans out the can. All right. And then the female comes in, and she will spray eggs. And when she's ready to go, she'll lay some eggs, and the female will be in there, and he'll fertilize them. They're fertilized externally. So as she's laying them, he's fertilizing, and then this can go on for hours.
You've watched this?
And what now?
Have you watched this?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, we have.
Something's wild about
this. This was years ago when we had
a party going on.
Yeah, it was a party. We had some tanks that had plexiglass, so we could go in and see it happen in the lab. But
wow.
Anyway, it wasn't very productive, but anyway.
So, but the credit card and stuff, as you're raking, sort of like a spatula.
Yeah, exactly. Let me. So, as the spawn builds up, the egg mass builds up. Okay. There's like a mucus that it forms a real stickiness to them. So all the eggs will stick together. All right. They're not just floating around and they're loose. So at that point, when when we think they're ready, or she's done, then we'll go check the cans, scrape the egg mass out, and then bring them into the hatchery.
It doesn't sound like you guys are nice about this. I mean,
Look, like I said, a catfish is a very hardy fish. It can handle a lot, all the way from the egg.
I wonder if we can compare this to like all of us guys out here. All right, you ladies out there, I get to mess with my wife a lot, and I'm going to mess with all of y'all right now. The fact that the male catfish goes in and cleans things up and tidies things up. I mean, it sounds like a lot of us here, right?
Exactly.
Want to have a romantic evening with our brides, we'll do anything. I don't know if this is part of the show that we can even talk about, but that's where my mind is heading for some crazy reason. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, all right. So Danny, we're talking to Danny Oberly, catfish biologist, catfish nutritionalist, whatever you want to call him. Stoneville, Mississippi has been his home for over 30 years. I mean, it has been a very long time, and he knows more about catfish than any of us will ever imagine. And he also fries up the best catfish. I would put him up against anyone in America. Sorry for all you guys out there going like, oh, come on, whatever. There is nobody that has better catfish. Nobody. It even inspired my song, Catfish Christmas, which Jim McMahon's in. And Danny, actually, Tweety, played Santa. And Jim McMahon had the headband on that said Santa rather than, the commissioner's name back in the day. And we had a lot of fun, but you got to participate in that. We participated in some weird things because of catfish, me and you.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But awesome. Like the greatest memories in the world. If you think about what we're doing with my resident show for Viking Cruise Line down here, I mean, your catfish is the headline for food that we serve, along with the hot tamales. And I just feel like when we were creating the show, that's the first thing I thought of. Well, if we're going to do a dinner, a lunch theater, a la Buck Owens, the Crystal Palace, a la whatever. There's been theaters I've played many that serve food, and I wanted it to be Roadhouse style. E.E. Bass just happened to work out so perfectly as far as how many folks were coming, around 400 people, and fit. But I knew that your catfish had to be. It just had to happen, and the comments we get and all that is just amazing. You've got some new fryers now that make no noise. And anybody out there that's used to frying catfish, there's a lot of gas, propane, you're hearing the blowing of the propane into this thing. On the other side of the break, I want you to tell me about this new gear you got and why it runs so quietly. You've told me 3 or 4 times recently. I haven't believed a word you've said yet, so maybe I'll believe it in a minute. Danny Oberly's my guest today. Visit Mississippi.org. Celebrate your Mississippi. America 250. Catfish. This fish that we just is so important to our Mississippi and our Delta, period, and throughout Mississippi, and how it affects the world and what they serve on their dinner plates and lunch plates. It all starts right here. We'll be right back.
But I still believe. Say we're in cold water, but I do believe. We're in cold water, and I shall believe.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Your next customer is searching online right now. Will they find you or your competitor? If your website is outdated, slow, or hard to use on a phone, you could be losing business every day. SuperTalk Mississippi Media builds sharp, mobile-friendly websites that look great and work even better, and they're more affordable than you might think. We can drive customers to your new website with powerful radio commercials and targeted digital ads on Facebook, Google, TikTok, Hulu, and more. Call SuperTalk Mississippi Media at 601-991-2305 or visit stmmdigital.com.
The One Box.
When I was 16, I knew everything. Opportunity grew on trees. I'd taste them.
I think I talked way too much at the end of that last segment. I was trying to get Danny laughing, and he never did. So I'm going to get him laughing at him. He actually is laughing. And laughing at me like he's been doing his whole life. Visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip. Come on down here to the Delta. When you do come, you ought to come to the Stoneville Experimental Station. If you could ever get a tour and find out some of the things that's been created and invented here. Dang right, big-time inventions. It'll blow your mind. Go to visit Mississippi.org. Danny, tell me about some of the things. I mean, first of all, how long has Stoneville been going?
Oh my gosh. Steve, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea.
Is it 100 years?
Oh, it's got to be. You know what? I think somebody put a book out several years ago. Yeah.
Long time, but a lot of inventions,
I'm pretty
right?
sure right. I'm pretty sure it started with Mississippi State. And
Amazing.
And then some years later, USDA came in on board.
Could you imagine you guys not being there and how that would affect our farmers and agriculture folks of all types? It would be a tremendous void, right?
That's exactly right. People don't realize what Stoneville is until they actually stop at that four-way stop and they go towards the railroad tracks and they're looking left and right and the facilities out there, and it's just amazing the contribution to all agricultural research that Stoneville has done over the years for every type.
It's moved folks here too from all over the world, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
They're working, doctors, professors, PhDs, all of these folks. And then obviously we have the Delta Council, all of our buddies, Chip and everybody, these guys that are out there busting their tails, just to make sure that you guys have the funding to do all this research. One has to help the other. I mean, it's amazing what it takes for the farmer to be competitive these days, much less you're dealing with weather, much less you're dealing when they're pricing it and they're dealing with, all of this. I mean, it's a constant gamble for these guys. Right. Yeah. And you guys can, or at least a little bit of reassurance that the product is going to be its very best and competitive, right? And keep up with the world.
That's exactly right. And, that's the greatest thing I can say about Stoneville is every single division, department, unit out there, they all work together, for one goal, and that's produce or develop products that are very marketable, safe, you name it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk. We got to talk about your smoked catfish roll. Smoked catfish roll. That is, to me, is the best appetizer I've ever had in my life. I mean, and I'm not the only one saying that, and we're not giving away any secrets. You're making so many of these things during holidays and beyond now, and I just feel like it's going to become as popular as deviled ham was when we were kids. I'm trying to find something that could be that popular. You know what I mean? But deviled ham is awful compared to this. This is like incredible. What made you think to do basically it's a smoked catfish roll, but it's like a pate? What's Chef David Cruz call it? A pate?
It's a pate. He's right. Yeah. But
were you experimenting one day? What were you doing?
Yeah, I was looking for a good appetizer to take to, I think, it must have been like a Christmas holidays with family. And because growing up, Mama used to make this smoked catfish. This smoked oyster roll.
Yeah.
So I was thinking along those lines, and I just got to playing around with brines and smoking techniques and different ways of, different ingredients. And I stumbled across a recipe somewhere that kind of steered me somewhat in that direction, and just started putting things together and tweaking it. I've been playing with this for, oh gosh.
Well, you got it mastered.
30
I know.
years.
I know you were working on some things with all of us. We had a big tasting one time where you had it freeze dried. Well, not freeze dried. Sorry, vacuum sealed,
Yeah.
frozen. You had it in different containers versus brand new, fresh versus been sitting in different
Right.
ways, and just wasn't. I mean, we learned a lot, but
We did. We actually did.
But it's amazing how you can shrink wrap this and freeze it, and it'd be great in 6 months. I mean, that's the amazing part of it. It's just nuts. Folks, I just want y'all to know something. It is the best appetizer I've ever had in my life, period. And so if you ever, sweetie, how can people order it if they want to order it?
Well,
You have
it's not really on a website or.
Yeah, it's just by word of mouth.
It's all word of mouth.
People are going to really be upset right now. They're going to want to know how to get it, but it's so good. It's so good. Danny, I love you, pal. Thank you for spending a Mississippi Minute with me. I've loved every second of it.
Thank you, Steve.
Visit
Love you, buddy.
Mississippi. Love you, buddies. Visit Mississippi.org. A lot of love coming from Danny and I grew up listening to a lot of great music. It reshaped my world, has reshaped his. We care about music so much. And there's always a soundtrack going, no matter what we're doing. If he's on the catfish farm or I'm doing this show somewhere, there's music playing in the background. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Blessings to you all.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.